I'm good.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This week's Pigeon of the Week is being brought to you by Flowers Deer Processing. Dale, they're already getting them ready over there, already passing inspections and getting it all taken care of, getting those vacuum sacks ready to go for all of that tenderloin that's going to be going. I'm jealous already. Hey, we got one picture. I wanted to show you this one picture. This is of Ron Withers. Ron said, Hugh, I caught this one on Old Hickory Lake.
It's a good fish.
A little over 5 pounds at night. He said, I don't usually go fishing at night, but now it's worth it. so great job, Ron. We've got other pictures. I am very sorry I've been out of town all week and have not sent them to Courtney. But hey, you can keep sending them to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robertson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on there really fast. My two guests tonight are, I have Captain Dale Granstaff and Brad Bagwell, and both of them are great game wardens in their own right. They are both avid hunters too, and I know that for a fact. We did a video with Brad years and years ago, where he and Eric Anderson and Matt, I keep thinking Matt Bryan. They went out hunting and had a great time. They took out a bunch of does out of a herd and off a piece of property that was just heavy with a concentration of does. And y'all took like 9 that day, which was great. I mean, they could, so they did, and we all ate good for a while. But with me tonight, I think the world of this man right here, Dale Granstaff. Dale taught me and Joe and I how to shed antler hunt. And I was totally amazed at some of the tricks he uses. I still remember every one of those tricks, buddy. I've got one of those memories too. And he just did such an awesome job. We went up to Montgomery County, and that day we found 8.
We found several that day,
yeah. We found 7 or 8 sheds.
Tim Cleveland actually found a matching set.
That's right. Tim Cleveland went with us and found a matching set. He sure did.
First ones he'd ever found. He just walked up on them.
Walked right up on them. But Dale eliminated a ton of property that normally would take you 2 or 3 days to go over. He totally annihilated all that and showed us what to look for, and he was right. In the brief 2 hours that we filmed with binoculars and everything, we found those sheds. There's 7 or 8 sheds. Just a great job. But here tonight, in that same year, I got to add this. That same year, he had, I believe you had found 30 sheds already that year when we started it. When Joe and I called him back at the end of season, he had found 64 more sheds. That ought to be a big time accomplishment.
Year.
It was a great year for you. Yeah. But he found them, and I'm just saying that you can do that. Now they got shed hunting dogs and everything. Dale, you still do it the old-fashioned way.
I like just walking, looking for them. Yeah.
It's totally amazing. I want to show some of these sheds because we've got our deer season's coming up. September, 4th Saturday of September starts our archery season.
Yes.
It has been dropped back from $3 now to $2. We're driving that home for you. Everybody should know that. $2. You think it's going to help, don't you?
I hope it does, and I think it will. Yeah.
You think it's going to help too, don't you, Brad? I do. I definitely. I could care less. I think we ought to go to 1. So I'm just throwing it out there. But
we're in the middle.
We're in the middle. We're in the middle. I'm happy. I'm happy. But tonight I want to drive a point home, okay? And that is, Dale, you've picked up these sheds off the same place year after year after year. You've got something to show us tonight.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of our state can produce some of the top end deer, which we have. We've got some of the record books, but not all the deer are going to be booners. But what can our state produce? What can you expect to kind of see when you go hunting if you have a mature deer on your property? And this is kind of what I brought to show people once they hit 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, even 5.5, what they're going to look like and what they're going to change to from a 2.5-year-old buck to maybe a 4.5 or a 5.5-year-old buck.
All right, Dale,
and a lot of times they don't change much, but sometimes they do.
I'm gonna hold them up because they got the camera on me.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold them up now. Tell me where.
This is going. This is going to be a Montgomery County deer.
This is a Montgomery County deer. This is one side,
and that's a 2.5-year-old buck.
A 2.5-year-old, which is an awesome buck in his own right.
Really
his
good
G2s are, what, 10 inches long?
Yeah, a really good 2.5. He doesn't have a lot of mass for that area, but he's just a really good.
But it's a really good buck.
But your score always comes from length. The mass doesn't give you much of a score.
No.
The length gives you the score.
Gives you score. So this
if
buck,
people are into the score.
Well, this buck's really a nice buck. I mean, by anybody's standards, you'd be proud to take this one home. This was at 2.5.
That's a 2.5.
Same property. Same property. Montgomery County, same deer, 3.5.
3.5.
Now look, this is a what, 11.5?
I'm going to hold that up there beside it.
Let's look at.
And they just mirror each other, except with just a little more length.
A little
but they
more
mirror
length.
each other.
Oh, look at the G3 is way out there. Then they added a G4.
And he had the brow. The brow was damaged on this 2.5-year-old, but he had the brow as a 3.5, but he broke it off.
He broke it off.
Yeah.
All right. So can you see this? This is a 2.5 and a 3.5, the same buck. You see the genetics are there. Same deer, okay? Now, let me show them what 4.5 looks like. Oh my goodness.
That's the 4.5.
This is 4.5 years old.
And if you lay that in there,
and
it's a mirror image. He lost the G4.
Well, you can see it right there.
Yeah.
That's where it was.
That just shows you they change from year to year. They don't always stay exactly the same, but the same shape is there. So what this gives people an idea of, he's probably going to score almost the exact same as a 3.5 to a 4.5 because of the time length. It's the same.
It's the same.
He actually lost some inches from
right
the
there.
3.5 to a 4.5. So he may score a little bit less, but he's got a little more mass. His body's going to be a little bit bigger.
Oh yeah, look at the.
So most people would shoot him here. Most people would shoot him here.
I mean, this is huge coming out of the head here.
Good mass.
Good mass to it.
Really good, typical, clean 8-pointer for this area.
And another thing, even this one being 5.5, Brad. I mean, you've seen them 6.5, 7.5. Is 7 years where they start their decline? I mean, this one was subject to grow even more.
Could be. You know, like I said, as Dale said, when they get older, they get more body mass. But like I said, there's a break point there. But like I said, it's more of a, like the maturity side of it too. You know, 4.5, 5.5.
So you're like the rest of us. This 2-buck limit might make this one just like it grow even bigger.
If he's got the ability to grow huge, he could. But most of our deer in the state, you know, you're going to expect something like this when they're mature.
Right.
Don't. Everybody shouldn't expect booners walking everywhere. But when you get a mature deer, he's going to look like this for the most part. You know.
That is a nice. I wanted to show it from the side too. Look at the. Just look at the mass there from the side. You can see that is a really. No, Joy, I'm not going to put it over the top of my head.
And he's probably going to gross in the 140s, which is not huge, but it's a good, solid deer.
Buck.
Solid. Anybody would be proud to shoot that deer. Yeah.
Now, put them in the Boone and Crockett. Do they have to be what?
170
or
net
above.
typical.
Okay.
And 195 net non-typical, which is gigantic.
That's gigantic.
Yeah.
But Pope and Young.
He makes Pope and Young easily.
He makes
125.
Pope and Young. That's right. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
That's Pope and Young quality right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's show this one next one.
This is my favorite one.
Okay. Do you want to let's show the small one first?
This is probably the 3.5 shed.
Now that one.
Good mass.
Good mass.
Thickness.
I got 2-buck limit. I might go ahead and take this.
Most people will shoot that deer. Yes.
I'm not going to be bashful.
No.
You know, I'm going to tell you.
2-buck limit. Most people are going to shoot that deer. Then look at the 4.5 at what he did. His brow tine did a little kick to it. The G2 with the split is not as long, but he's just got more mass.
He's got more mass to it.
He's put a little more mass on.
And look how thick. Can you see how thick the 4.5 is? I mean, that is getting really
He started to put that mass on.
Yeah, he's really starting to put it on.
5.5.
And now, I got to show you. I'm just so excited about this.
I can hold those on this side.
All right, you show that. Look at what he wound up being right here. My
So that gives you an idea if you can get that.
Is there such a word as gnarly? Because that's exactly what he is.
I'm going to guess 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5.
5.5 years old.
Just really a gnarly, just a great deer.
And look at the mass. I'm going to hold him sideways. Look at the mass that this one had at 5.5. And even the brow tines are just really
just got
massive.
really gnarly. Massive.
Just huge.
But he's not going to score that much. And that's what people need to understand.
But I'd hang him on my wall.
That's a trophy, though.
That's a trophy.
Those are great deer, but that right there, I'm sure he was a big-bodied deer. Just a good massive deer, but just a gnarly deer. Not a big score, but I don't care what he scores. He's just a trophy.
Tennessee deer.
Yeah.
Tennessee deer, and we can grow them right here. I believe we can. I believe that is an awesome buck. I do. Now you had some sheds over there. You just want to show some sheds.
This was just a matching set that were laying probably about 3 feet apart, kind of like that.
Goodness.
But just a really good deer. That deer, he's alive.
Joy,
he's huntable.
would you shoot me now?
But just a good solid deer.
That's
with,
a solid
with matching
deer.
kickers.
Look at the kickers. Now, I've seen a couple of bucks with kickers that I wanted to take, but I was never in position to take them. And you just kill yourself going after them. And it's like, I don't want to shoot one until I get him.
I've actually seen that deer this year, and he's a little smaller this year.
Really?
He's not as big.
Well, he still has one more moon to go.
He's still
one more moon, yeah. Awesome. Now, can I show this one?
Yeah, pull that one up.
Now, look here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Tennessee, and that is an old buck. This one passed away with EHD.
That's what I assume, just because where I found him. Yeah.
Just close to water.
Yeah, by a little bitty pond. And the reason I say early is because he didn't rub. He's not smooth, so he didn't rub at all. So he had to die really early in the season. He was by a little pond, so I'm assuming it was probably HD.
But look at the mass on that one. That is definitely a wall hanger.
Old deer, good deer.
Old deer. Now I think this one had probably already peaked and was probably on the downside, don't you?
No doubt, yeah. When they get blading in the tines and a lot of beating around the base and around the brow tines, they're getting older. Yeah, they're getting really mature.
Just awesome deer. Now you've seen 140, 150, close to a 160 right there. But all this came from Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
we've got the genetics here.
We got the genetics.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm going to voice my opinion, I think that the buck limit, because Daryl Ratajczak always told me age, food, and habitat of their surroundings is what makes the big bucks anyway.
Yeah, if they can grow, if they've got the food and they can grow old, you know, they've got the potential to be, as far as on a scale of a trophy scale, hit Boone and Crockett. But like I say, most of them are going to be on top end, like what we see right in front of us. Yeah, but that's a great deer to take.
Oh, I'd be happy with any of these. I'm gonna be honest.
And some people are happy with any buck, which is good. Which our 2-buck limit allows you to take any buck. But for those people who are looking for a trophy, I think it's going to help them, you know, to in their minds to say, okay, 2-buck limit this year. The agency's doing something to help us, maybe, you know, as far as the true trophy hunters.
Well, I tell you what, the trophy system that we're planning on, the age and all that, I think is going to be a big time success. You guys are going to be really thanked here. Maybe not right now, but in 2 or 3 years when they start seeing these things crashing through the woods, coming through the woods, they're going to go, yeah, thank you.
Just maybe a bigger body, mature deer. You know,
that's what I think.
That's what we hope.
Hey, we got to take another break right quick and visit some of our fine sponsors that help make this show available to you each and every week. When we come back, get those phone lines ready to call us here at 737-7767. We'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Water.